Most people think being smart is about knowing more than everyone else. More facts, more answers, more information. But if that were true, why do some people stay calm while others lose control the moment something goes wrong? You've seen it. A small situation turns into stress, frustration, or a reaction you didn't plan. And after, you realize it didn't help at all. But if knowing more isn't the answer, then what actually makes the difference in that moment? It's not how much you know. It's how you think when things don't go your way. Smart people don't think more, they think differently. And once you start noticing that difference, you can't ignore it anymore. So let's break it down. There are a few simple habits that separate them from everyone else. They're not complicated, but most people never use them when it matters. The first one is this: they don't fight to be right. Most people do the opposite. Someone disagrees, and it instantly becomes a battle. You try to prove your point. You want to win. But winning the argument doesn't actually move anything forward. It just makes the other person stop listening. Smart people take a different approach. They ask questions, real questions, not to trap the other person or sound smarter, but to understand where the idea is coming from. And that changes the situation. People stop defending and start explaining. That's where real influence happens. Not when you talk more, but when you understand more. But this only works if you can slow yourself down in that moment. And that's where most people fail. The second thing is how they look at problems. Most people zoom in too much. One mistake feels like everything is falling apart. One bad result starts to define you. But smart people step back. They don't react to one moment. They look for patterns. What caused it? What didn't work? What can be adjusted next time? Now it's not emotional anymore. It becomes something you can actually work with. But most people never reach that point because they're too focused on what just happened. That shift changes everything. Problems stop feeling personal and start becoming solvable. The third thing is control. Most people spend energy thinking about things they can't change. What others think. What might happen next week. Things outside their control. And it drains them. Smart people are strict with their attention. If they can't influence it, they let it go. If they can, they act on it. But that's harder than it sounds, because your mind constantly pulls you back to things you can't control. They can't control the outcome, but they can control the effort. They can't control other people, but they can control how they respond. And that's where real progress comes from. The fourth thing is something people underestimate: silence. Most people are uncomfortable with it. The moment things get quiet, they rush to fill it. They speak without thinking, just to avoid the gap. But smart people don't rush. They pause. They listen. They think before they speak, and that changes how people see them. Not because they talk more, but because when they do speak, it actually matters. Silence gives you space, but most people don't give themselves that space, and that's why their responses feel automatic. The last one is the biggest difference. They pause instead of reacting. Most reactions are instant. Something happens, and you respond without thinking. No filter, no control. But smart people interrupt that pattern. They take a second, they step back, and they choose how to respond. But that 1 second is where everything happens. That's where you either react like everyone else or think differently. That pause changes the outcome. It keeps you in control while everyone else is reacting. And this is what it all comes down to. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need control over how you think in the moment that matters. Most people won't do this. They'll keep reacting the same way. But if you start paying attention to how you respond, something shifts. You stay calmer. You see solutions faster. You make better decisions. And people notice it. Not because you know more, but because you think better.